The world held its breath as the Nobel Committee announced the winner of the 2025 Peace Prize. Many believed this was finally Donald Trump's moment, the recognition he had been chasing for years. But when the name was read aloud, it wasn't his. It was María Corina Machado, the Venezuelan opposition leader, celebrated for her fearless fight against dictatorship. Within minutes, the White House fired back, accusing the Nobel Committee of playing politics. Spokesperson Stephen Chung declared, "They've proved they place politics over peace. President Trump has the heart of a humanitarian, and there will never be anyone like him." To the administration, this wasn't just a snub. It was an insult. For Trump, who has long coveted the Nobel Peace Prize, it was the ultimate rejection. Chapter 1. Trump's long obsession with the Nobel. Donald Trump's fascination with the Nobel Peace Prize dates back to his first term in office. Ever since he brokered the Abraham Accords between Israel and several Arab nations in 2020, he's seen himself as a modern-day peacemaker, a deal-maker who brings enemies to the table. He would often remind audiences that Barack Obama won a Nobel Peace Prize for doing nothing, as Trump put it, while he, in his words, actually delivered peace. Supporters nominated him multiple times for his diplomacy with North Korea, his withdrawal from endless wars, and his Middle East deals. But every year, the Nobel Committee passed him over. Now, in 2025, he believed this was finally his turn. His administration had just helped broker a ceasefire in Gaza, which brought temporary relief to one of the world's most volatile regions. He even hinted at big things coming, hinting that the Nobel people know what's right. But when the committee went another direction, the White House erupted in outrage. Chapter 2. The White House reacts. Moments after the announcement, Trump's spokesperson Stephen Chung took to X, formerly Twitter, with a fiery message. President Trump will continue, making peace deals, ending wars, and saving lives. He has the heart of a humanitarian inside the West Wing. Aides scrambled to shape the narrative. They told reporters this decision proved that the Nobel Committee had become an arm of global liberal elites. Privately, White House insiders admitted the president was furious. According to one aide, he really thought this was his year. He's convinced the committee hates him because he's not part of the club. But as usual, Trump turned rejection into a rallying cry. He told allies that he would keep making peace and let history decide who the real winner is. Chapter 3. The Woman Who Won. While Washington raged, a very different story was unfolding in Latin America. María Corina Machado, a Venezuelan opposition leader, had spent decades defying strongman Nicolás Maduro. She was banned from politics, harassed, and forced into hiding. But she never stopped calling for free elections and democratic reform. When Venezuela's National Electoral Council declared Maduro the winner of last year's election, despite international observers confirming the opposition had won, protests erupted. Machado's allies were jailed, tortured, or forced into exile. Her win was a powerful symbol, not just for Venezuela, but for all who stand against tyranny. The Nobel Committee praised her tireless work promoting democratic rights, and her courage to fight for a peaceful transition from dictatorship to democracy. But back in Washington, Trump's supporters dismissed the choice. Chapter 4. How the Nobel Committee decides. The Norwegian Nobel Committee, based in Oslo, is made up of 5 members appointed by the Norwegian Parliament. Their mandate to reward those who have done the most or the best work for fraternity between nations, for the abolition or reduction of standing armies, and for the promotion of peace. They typically focus on sustained efforts, not quick deals or political headlines. Last year, they gave the prize to Nihon Hidankyo, the Japanese anti-nuclear group founded by atomic bomb survivors. This year, they chose Machado, a woman whose courage had inspired millions, even as she lived in hiding. The committee doesn't respond to lobbying or political pressure, and Trump's loud campaign for the prize may have actually hurt his case. As one analyst in Oslo put it, the more you campaign for the Nobel, the less likely you are to win it. The prize is supposed to be earned quietly. Still, for Trump, this decision reinforced his belief that global institutions were rigged against him. Chapter 5. Trump's Claim to Peace. Supporters of Donald Trump argue that few leaders have achieved as much diplomatically in such a short time. They point to his role in ending several long-running conflicts and his administration's push for ceasefires across the Middle East. His team highlights deals like the Balkan Economic Agreement between Serbia and Kosovo, the historic normalization between Israel, the UAE, and Bahrain, and his repeated efforts to negotiate with North Korea, something previous presidents avoided. But critics counter that most of these agreements were temporary or incomplete. North Korea resumed missile testing soon after, and the Middle East remains deeply unstable. Chapter 6. The Politics of Rejection. When the Nobel Committee bypassed Trump again, it wasn't just about the prize, but it was about politics and symbolism. To Trump's supporters, the decision confirmed what they've always believed, that international bodies like the UN, NATO, and the Nobel Committee undermine American greatness. In contrast, Democrats said the Nobel's independence was a relief. Senator Elizabeth Warren commented, "You don't get peace prizes for tweets and rallies. You get them for results." The issue quickly became another partisan battlefield. Trump's allies compared him to Reagan, who was also never awarded the prize despite ending the Cold War. Chapter 7. The Venezuelan Crisis and Global. Message for the Nobel Committee. Honoring Machado was about shining a light on Venezuela's forgotten struggle. After the disputed 2024 election, Venezuela plunged deeper into chaos. The European Parliament passed a resolution declaring opposition candidate Edmundo Gonzalez the legitimate winner. Dozens of activists were imprisoned. The economy collapsed. Machado fled underground, but her voice continued to echo across the globe through interviews and statements. "This is not about left or right," she told Euronews. "It's about freedom versus oppression." Her courage, not her politics, earned her the prize. Chapter 8. Trump's Silence and the MAGA Spin. Strangely, Donald Trump didn't directly comment on the loss. No Truth Social post, no fiery press conference, nothing. Instead, his surrogates did the talking. Former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said the committee's decision was a disgrace. Others called it a snub to a global peacemaker. Fox commentators even claimed the committee feared Trump's return to power, suggesting the award would have legitimized him internationally. Behind the scenes, aides say Trump viewed the decision as proof that the world is jealous of American success. He reportedly told close friends, "History will fix this. I'll win more peace deals than anyone who's ever lived." That's classic Trump, turning defeat into performance, rejection into a new rallying cry. Chapter 9. What this says about America. The controversy reveals something deeper about how the U.S. sees itself. For decades, America positioned itself as the world's peacekeeper. But under Trump, that role has shifted from diplomacy to dominance. His foreign policy emphasizes strength, self-interest, and direct confrontation. It's why his team argued that renaming the Pentagon as the Department of War would project resolve. To his base, this isn't aggression, it's leadership. Politics over peace or peace over politics? The White House says the Nobel Committee chose politics over peace. But maybe, just maybe, the committee chose peace over politics. Because in an age where leaders fight for headlines instead of humanity, where diplomacy is measured in likes and retweets, the Nobel Committee sent a quiet but powerful message, that moral courage still matters. Donald Trump may never win a Nobel Peace Prize, but the real question isn't whether he deserves it. It's whether he ever truly understood what peace stands for. Thanks for watching Insight. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of politics and power, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more global breakdowns and untold stories behind the headlines.